And in the Upper East region, checks show that pupils are being fed poor quality food under the school feeding program. Although caterers are willing to provide better alternatives, they're drawing in debt. JoyNews Albert Asori visited 2 schools at Sharigu, a deprived community in the Bolgatanga municipality, and now reports.
So today we are here at the Apasanaba Primary and KG here in Sharigu in the Bolgatanga municipality of the Upper East region. This is one of the schools where the pupils are benefiting from the Ghana school feeding program. We understand that nearly 500 children are being fed under the program in this school. And so today we are here to find out how the program is going. Today is Wednesday, but this structure you are seeing behind me is the kitchen where the food is normally cooked for the children. We are told by school authorities that since the 18th of May, the caterers have been coming to cook the meals for the children, but today, for unknown reasons, they are not here. They were here yesterday. This kitchen is currently empty. There's a fireplace, 2 fireplaces actually, but there's no fire at all. The caterer is not here today. We'll also be speaking with the pupils who are on break at the moment and buying food from the common market to try and find out from them how they feel about the school feeding program, whether they like the food and whether they are even getting the food regularly or not.
Yes, we like it, but the way they are serving the food is not always plenty. Sometimes they cook, but sometimes they did not cook. But I don't know why today they have not cooked. Today they have not cooked, so I'm hungry.
I like it, but the food is not quality. When they will serve us small food and we will not satisfy. They have been cooking every day for us, but I don't know what happened today and they don't cook. But I feel hungry.
The soup is not plenty. You eat the soup and leave only the banku. That's what I'm saying, we are not satisfied.
We understand that 2 different caterers actually take turns to cook for the children in this school. One of them is here and will be talking to us about why they are not here to cook for the children today.
I'm the caterer in this school and we are 2 in number. We do run shift. This person will come and do 2-3 weeks and the other 2 will come and cook. So when we started this term, my colleague is taking place now. So today she couldn't come. I called and she told me she couldn't get all the items to come and cook because of the financial problem. So if God permits, tomorrow she will come and do the cooking. You know, 2 times, last time and last 2 times they didn't pay us. So for now, for us to get all the items at once, it's difficult for us. We have to go and get loan, buy the things in credit, and for the 2 times that they didn't pay, not all the traders do allow to give us the items again. So we are now finding it difficult to do the cooking all the time. For the money, they do pay us 1 cedi. Each child should be taking 1 cedi. And nowadays the things are costly. For you to get things and buy, when we started a gallon of oil, we were buying it 180 to 190. Now it's almost 500. So now if you have to use 1 cedi for food for each child, how much will the food be? It will not be anything. So we are just making cost 90 job for us. And so if they are able to increase the payment there, it will help us.
Now here at the Azalonge Primary School, still in Sharigu, under the Bolgatanga municipality, the pupils here are a bit luckier than their counterparts at the Apasanaba Primary School, because today they have had their lunch from the school feeding caterer. The challenge is that the quantity is very small. Sometimes the senior classes have to forfeit their lunch so that their younger ones in the junior classes will be fed. Today we even saw that one of the pupils, used the lid of his bowl to collect his food because the rice and stew which was being served today was just little, and when it got to his turn to get his food, there was just very little left. So there was no point in using his bowl to collect the food. He chose to use his lid. We can listen to some of the children.
We don't like it because sometimes when they cook the food, there is not enough for us. So the food will not get to primary 6, so we don't like the food. Sometimes even there is more things inside the food, so we don't like it. Wafers in the beans.
Sometimes when they always cook the banku, we don't like the banku. If you are eating the banku, you run diarrhea. So we don't like how they are cooking the food. They should change how they always cook the food.
Across the region, the challenges are mainly due to the fact that the caterers are not being paid their monies, and in some cases, even when they are paid, the amount is very little. And so, as far as the school feeding program is concerned in the Upper East region, there's a lot that government needs to do in terms of improving the quality and even the quantity of the meals for the pupils in these schools. From Sirigo in the Bolgatanga municipality of the Upper East region, my name is Albert Sori, reporting for JoyNews.
Let's get on Zoom and speak with Brighter Pia. He's Executive Director of the Child Rights International. Mr. Pia, I'm grateful for your time. You must be worried over news that poor quality food is being served to the kids under the school feeding program.
Yeah, it's a worrying situation, and it must be to all Ghanaians. We should be worried about the condition of our children in the schools. The reason being that children are not only there to learn, but everything in the environment must also speak to their social development and growth. And we see a situation where that should be the expectation of every country. So if you are experiencing some of these things, then it raises a whole lot of issues as to what our commitment is in respect to even formulating the policy and even implementing it.
If this is anything to go by, would you blame the caterers? They have only 99 pesos to feed every head. I mean, that's way too low, especially with the current price hikes in foodstuffs.
I think that everybody within the supply chain must be blamed for this. The foundation of every policy is very crucial, and the people that would also engage in the process is also crucial. So it's not about the caterers; it's about the start of the whole policy, the formulation of it, the decision to implement it, and even the decision to give them the below the 1 Ghana cedi. We all know that if you want a child to have a good meal a day, I don't think that in any policy sense is appropriate to give somebody below 1 Ghana cedi to feed children and even describe it as a hot meal a day. Because the purpose of doing that is, first of all, to increase enrollment, to build the nutritional values of children, because the policy recognized that children were under and they were not eating very well. So this policy comes in to address that malnutrition situation and then also to increase enrollment and retention. So if that is the objective of the policy, then everything else must speak to that. So you don't implement a program where the program itself will promote malnutrition in our schools by giving them below a Ghana cedi to feed our children. It's a wrong thing. But the whole thing is that you would also see a situation where there is policy inconsistency in the implementation. Because first of all, the foundation of our educational system is at the lower primary and then the upper primary. So if you have a good policy, it is there that you have to invest, especially when it comes to malnutrition. But you also have a same policy where at the secondary school level, you use more than 3 Ghana cedis to feed children at that level, which may not necessarily need the content that at the primary school level they will need. So you see inconsistency in the policy. So it's just, you'll come to the conclusion that we are not particular about consistency of policy, but I want to determine the priority based on our emotions and how we want to implement the policy and all that. But if you want to achieve results and you want to account for every peso that we spend, and we can even be bold enough to tell the caterers that you have to do what is expected of you, then we have to also meet their demand in such a way that it brings benefit to children. We are not saying that if caterers ask for 5 Ghana cedis, we have to give it. No, but give what is appropriate to meet the nutritional values of children in our schools. Once you are able to do that, then you'll be bold enough to say that if you don't do A, B, C, D, you can lose your job and all that. So these are things. And if I'm a caterer, and I know very well that I also owe the state my conscience, and somebody is giving you 1 Ghana cedi to feed the children, then you should also be bold enough to tell the state that 1 Ghana cedi will not be enough to feed our children. So everybody in the supply chain must be blamed for what is happening. But the primary responsibility lies on the state, because the interest of children is what is in the interest of the state. So the state cannot pretend to give the caterers 1 Ghana cedi and expect a different outcome. So these are things that we have to resolve. So if the state is pretending in paying them such amount, definitely the caterer would also pretend in doing what the state want to see. So let's all have value on ourselves in the implementation of policies, so that when we are discussing issues about children, we know that we are discussing the future, and there's a way that if you recognize the future, there's a way that you treat it. So these are things that, for me, we should place on the table, so that when we are discussing issues on the school feeding program, we should hold every single person within the supply chain accountable.
Mr. Brett-Appiah, what role does your outfit intend to play to ensure that government resolves this?
Yes, well, this has to do with nutritional content of food. So as we speak, there are staff going around collecting data on some of these issues. And we want to make a case for government to really look at the school feeding program and then do what is expected. There are a few issues that we have detected. The first has to do with the amount of money that they give them. The second one has to do with the supervision. And the third one has to do with the condition under which the caterers prepare the food. So we are looking at all this. At the appropriate time, we'll make a case for it. But where we engage with government and we are still not getting results, I think that matters of children is a matter of law. So whatever means that we have to engage to ensure that children get what is expected, we will do so.
For your time, Mr. Brett-Appiah. Well, Alpha Siba is also the PR of the School Feeding Secretariat. He has joined us via phone. Mr. Siba, how do you feel hearing that food served the kids in the schools are of poor quality?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I'm not sure that's the general, perception that we have, or the general atmosphere as far as the feeding program is concerned. Yes, it may be true. School feeding is a huge social intervention program, and any intervention of this magnitude will not be completely immune from some of these issues that you are raising. And so we are aware that particularly that we are dealing with caterers whose primary motive is to get profit. And so if you are not careful, people may like to get, cut corners to make whatever they want to make. And so that's why we have established a very robust monitoring and evaluation department that is capable of going around the country to monitor and ascertain the quantity, quality, and then the hygiene of whatever food we give to the beneficiary peoples.
And your monitoring team hasn't come across this?
No, I was saying that we are not immune from some of these things because we have over, or let me say, about 11,000 caterers. And so, being a human institution, you get one or two caterers that are, as I said, who would like to cut corners to make a profit. So, in that case, they compromise the standards.
But would you blame them? You're paying 99 pesos on every head.
Yes. We will blame them, say that they are aware of the amount we're paying. And when we advertise, they came forward to, And that's why I'm not saying that that's the issue, but I'm admitting that, yes, this may happen. But generally, it's not like that. There are good caterers who are doing a wonderful work, who are feeding the children with nutritious, balanced diet food to improve the health status of the beneficiary peoples. They are across the country, all over. But I'm saying that, I'm admitting that, yes, we may have some small number of them who will not do the right thing. And when these things come to our notice, we try to correct them, to take a remedial action to ensure that those things do not recur again. But, of course, you will still have people who want to do whatever they want to do. So that's why I'm saying that we have a monitoring and evaluation department. And then we also have officers we call them zonal coordinators at the various districts who are able to monitor and give us the report. As and when we think that the caterer is not doing that, we draw their attention and make sure that they comply with the standards for the implementation of the feeding.
Well, this is coming to your notice now. How do you seek to address this challenge? Because it definitely exists.
Yes, you are telling me. I don't know. I'm telling you that, yes, we do admit that, yes, you will get one or two instances of these infractions. That's what I'm saying. But
so
I'm
how do you intend to ensure that it doesn't happen at all?
So that's why I'm saying that, we have been ensuring, not now, it's something that we have been doing through our money. We have, what's supposed to be the school implementation committee at the school level. That is the direct supervisory board of the feeding program at the school level. It has membership across the school authorities, even the school's girl and boys prefects are both supposed to be members of the committee, so that when the caterer is not doing the right thing or when the food is not up to standard, then this committee is able to, draw the attention of the caterer. And if the caterer is not heeding to whatever advice they are giving to them, then we also have at the district level, at the assembly level, what we also call district implementation committee. And it's made up of very wide range of members from across the society in the district. We have the director of education, the district director of education, district director of agric, and district director of health. All these people are supposed to be members of the committee, and who are supposed to also look into the activities of the school feeding program. And so we have the institutions, we have all these things to check, to make sure that the caterer is constantly being monitored. And besides these people, we also have our own monitors who will go around unannounced. Mostly we go unannounced. There are times we inform the caterers. If we want to take some data, we need some information for the caterer, we inform them of our coming.
Mr. Siba, before you go, let me find out from you the demands of the caterers. Have you settled the arrears? And what has been the difficulty in increasing the...
The arrears have been settled. As I speak to you, we have been able to pay 9 regions so far. We have paid Ahafo region, Western North, Bunu, Oti. We have also paid Volta. And then we have also paid Savannah, West, and then Northeast. And now we are paying Ashanti and Bunu East. So we are making progress. And I'm sure by the close of this week, we should be able, now we are level to 7 regions to pay. This payment is for third term 2021 arrears. That is, which stands for 68 days.
They've also demanded increase in the amount per head. What has been the difficulty in increasing the amount?
But we are not saying that there have been a difficulty. We are working on it. That's what we have told them. We are working on it. These things are not something that you can just do it just like that. You have to take so many things into consideration, because we have to also be mindful that whenever we announce any upward adjustment, we have to implement it. And let's also remember that the budget has already been read, and so we are working with the budget for now. For this year's budget, we have about 900 million Ghana cedis to implement the school feeding program. That's 881 or thereabout million Ghana cedis to implement the school feeding program. And so, despite all this, we have welcomed them. We have taken on board their, demands, and we are also pursuing the issue. I'm sure very soon we'll get a very satisfactory feedback that will be favorable to all of us.
I'm grateful for your time. Alpha Siva is PRO of School Feeding Program, and he's been assuring us that arrears are being paid and increasing the amount is also being worked at.